Let the confetti fall, because on this special edition of the World Elite Podcast, we are going to acknowledge our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, a.k.a.
The reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns!
So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show. So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in.
That is on me. I had it on loop. That is on me.
We're live, damn it.
So nice you could have played it twice, but
There we
welcome
go.
welcome to this special live stream of the World Elite Podcast, presented by ATB Network, powered by StreamYard, sponsored by our best friends, 80s Tees and Wrestle Champs. Be sure to subscribe to all those guys and give us follows on that. Promo codes World Elite and World Elite Pod 1 if you want to redeem 5 remove cards or save 30% off of your order when you represent and you want to show love for us. The host Elite Trio is back. I am Marcus at MarcusElite337 on Twitter. There's Dylan and Jordan. Guys, how are we doing and where can we find you guys?
I'm doing good, and that's on me. I had the video on loop, and I guess I never noticed it. So, oh well. And you can find me on Twitter at DylanAber_.
And you can find me on Twitter at JordanJ20_.
And joining us back from the UW Pod, yes, and we're talking about from the UW Pod, the man himself,
Yes,
and
we're all the
guy
pod.
and the guy who is responsible for that video intro right there, Mr. Nick Dieter.
Yes. Hey, you got the last name right, dude. We're celebrating
I know.
the reigning.
Let the confetti
defending-
fall again. I got
Let's
his
hear
name
it.
right.
Let's see it, Jordan. Come on. Let me give you some stats. In 2022, this year, he had 48 matches, 33 wins. Guess how many losses, Marcus? 15. He is our tribal chief. Everybody, can we do it? Let's acknowledge him. But boys, I'm excited. Thank you for having me on. I can't wait to talk some Roman Reigns.
He also hasn't been pinned in over 1,000 days. 2019 was the
Jesus.
last time he was pinned. Now, if you're combining both titles, yeah, he held the Universal title for 2 years now. He's over 700 plus days with that. He's been WWE champion,
740. What did we say? 2? 1?
something like that. He's been WWE champion since April 3rd, so about 3.5 months. 4 months there. He's in the 100 mark of that one, but I like how they combined them and saying, oh, he's been champion for 900 plus days and stuff. But it don't matter. He could do that. He's the tribal chief.
I got some more stats. You guys want to hear them?
Yeah, go
Sure,
ahead.
why not?
2-time Universal Champion. 4-time WWE World Champion. 1-time IC title. 1-time United States Champion. 1-time WWE Tag Team Champions with Seth Rollins. Rumble winner in 2015, WWE Grand Slam champion, and most importantly, Marcus, this is for you, 7-time Slammy Award winner.
Nice. I want to say out of Grand Slam or Triple Crown, he was the 24th, if I'm correct. It was one of them.
Yeah, I think he's the ones.
That's right. Yep. Just in time. What is up, Justin? Shout out to the Podcast Brothers of Destruction
what's
and
up,
the End Time
Justin?
Wrestling Podcast. Got to check them out.
You know what's weird too? In 2020, he only lost twice. Is that because of the leukemia thing? Was that 2020?
I know he had to forfeit his Universal title because of leukemia.
Yeah, but I don't know what year that was. But that
That's
just stood
2018.
out to me. That's the what was it?
2018.
Oh, that was that long ago? Damn.
Yeah.
I
He was
in
the
diapers.
ninth. He was the 9th Grand Slam champion and the 28th Triple Crown champion.
He's just our tribal chief. I mean,
And if you saw in the intro video made by Nick, in the middle, he is holding the Universal title with Paul Heyman in the background. Now, I said there were some Easter eggs now in this. I call them Easter eggs.
oh
'cause
yeah,
I
let's hear it.
I liked how everything you picked was just perfect that resembled us. Now, one part I'll say I haven't figured out yet. Okay, the Kevin Owens part where he was on the mic
Yeah.
in the video. I don't know where that took place at.
That was the banger promo, like the night after Vince said, or not said, that he was that he retired. What was that? It was him versus Drew. Was it him and Drew right in the ring? It was recent.
I might have been.
Yeah, it was very recent. It wasn't last week because that was another banger one. But we're not here to talk about KO.
So you saw the beginning of the intro. You see John Cena, and judging by that set, that was that Money in the Bank last year in Fort Worth when they showed that clip of Cena. The second clip was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 in Houston. I was there for that. The image of Roman Reigns, of course, that was a year ago. So that was in the Thunderdome. Just don't know if that was in Orlando or that was in Tampa. Haven't figured that one out yet. The Kevin Owens segment, of course, Goldberg getting stunned, or Stone Cold kicking one and stunning the other. I think he kicked Goldberg again or stunned Lesnar. Either way, those were both at WrestleMania 20.
Okay.
And to close out the best part, I had to look real closely. You see The Rock giving a people's elbow. He was giving it to CM Punk, and that was at Elimination Chamber 2013 in New Orleans, in our backyard, our home state. So, yeah, we're the number one wrestling podcast in Louisiana. Show a final clip from what happened one year in Louisiana, then you pop us up. That's a perfect way to end that video.
Go.
Right
I wish
there.
I could say that about New Jersey, but
speaking of New Orleans, shout out to the New Orleans Saints coming back after being down by 16 and taking down the Atlanta Falcons. And I feel bad for our new friends.
This is a Roman Reigns acknowledgement celebration. Where's the confetti? We're not going to talk about football. We're going to talk about. You want to talk about football? I got more stats. Are you guys ready?
If you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, no.
This is Roman Reigns, bro.
Oh, yeah, he played for the Vikings. He played for the Vikings. He was undrafted.
Played defensive tackle for Georgia Tech. 2003 to 2006. Team captain during his season, with Georgia Tech. Signed by the Minnesota Vikings and the Jaguars. And the Jaguars.
As a practice squad member, too.
Yeah. And he played a little CFL. With
Edmonton. Yeah. Before they had to change their name. Now they're the Elks.
Yep. Getting off topic again. This is all about Roman Reigns.
Well, but I mean, it's just weird. What's wrong with Eskimos? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you're an Eskimo cousin, right? With somebody?
I was going to say, who's ready for story time with Marcus Hey, baby, and what happened this past Saturday, but it's about Roman Reigns. So if you want to hear what happened in Baton Rouge, you're going to have to wait a whole week before we come back to talk week 3 of ATB States.
You can't tease us like that, dude. Come on. What happened? Give it to us quick.
We played Southern University this past Saturday, an HBCU school, 10 miles away from LSU. As soon as I got out the vehicle, all the way to the stadium, the whole campus smelled like weed.
Acknowledge me.
Oh, we're acknowledging marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. Marijuana is legal in most of the states.
Yep.
And that was you that hit that? It couldn't have been Dylan. Dylan stepped away from
Dylan, the celebration was just too much for Dylan. He's gone.
Oh, man.
He couldn't deal with it. All right, so what do we got on topic? Let's acknowledge him. No more football, no more soccer, no more strip clubs, and you drafted your fantasy team. Let's acknowledge him, Marcus. Let's hear it.
Okay, absolutely. He was born Leedy Joseph Anawai on May 25th, 1985 in Pensacola, Florida. We know he is the son of Sika, who is one half of the Wild Samoans, and he's a Hall of Famer. He was trained by his father and his uncle, the Wild Samoans. Plus, he was trained by Steve Kern. He has, I know he has 5 kids. He has 2 sets of twins and a daughter. Yeah, 2 sets of twins.
He's on Nick Cannon's level.
He's got a long way to go for that. Well, after his college football career and a little short time in the NFL, he came into the wrestling scene in 2010 when he was part of FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling. I think it was by 2011, 2012, then he peaked up into what was called WWE NXT. Made his WWE debut on the main roster with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, or people will know him now as Jon Moxley. November 8th, 2012 at Survivor Series, making an impact, taking after Ryback. And for about a few months, they were a dominant faction. They Every time there was a 6-man tag, they were winning.
Yeah.
They're known for triple power bombing people through the announce table, and they took out some big names. One time they went after The Rock. They went after The Undertaker. Ryback, fuck him. He's not that big. He went after guys like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He got his
that
first
was a big moment for the Shield, right?
I
When
hopped
was
on board.
Yeah.
When they had their first match on pay-per-view, it was TLC 2012. They took on Ryback and Team Hell No in the first ever 6-man tag team TLC match. This one they ended up winning by pinfall or submission because they were not wrestling for no championships or anything.
Yeah.
They showed how I didn't watch that pay-per-view live. I had to wait till it came out on DVD when I watched it. I was very impressed with all three. I immediately became a fan of these guys. Like,
Yeah.
there was not a lot of people back then, that were heels that I had to like, but they were just a few. Like guys like they joined a short list with guys like Randy Orton and Edge.
You know what it was too? It was just the entrance out of nowhere.
Yeah, coming through the crowd, dressed like a SWAT team.
Yeah, you didn't know what to think. It was just like, holy shit, these guys are dressed in black. Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is rated TVMA.
Yeah. I just loved it. It was just something about that. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't think Roman was the one then.
I just by his size, I figured he was. I never thought Ambrose was going to be the one. I said Roman and Rollins especially. But then all three men were former WWE champions. Hell, at one point, I'm going to fast forward. The only one night of the year, all three members of the Shield were WWE champion the same night, and that was Money in the Bank 2016. Roman lost the title to Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose cashed in his Money in the Bank and won the title from Seth Rollins that same night.
Yeah.
And the following month, we've been dreaming about, oh man, I hope we get a triple threat Shield match one day. We were thinking maybe SummerSlam or WrestleMania. No, we got it at Battleground the month later. The only time those three ever faced each other.
And it was, as Tim would say, it was a banger. It really was so entertaining. Can I rewind a little? Go back to 2013, WrestleMania 29. I was there live, and it was a pretty big deal. I mean, the match sucked, but it was the Shield versus Big Show, Randy, and Sheamus, and that was the first taste of, the Shield, and the first taste of Roman Reigns. You didn't really know who was the leader, but you kind of could tell, right? I mean, you even said it. You could see Roman was the one. I mean, he was bigger than everybody. He was just, there. He was always, pinning the guys or being, part of the storyline. He was always the main focus. So, I don't know. That was something cool to see. Now you look at it now,
That was your first time
later.
seeing the Shield, huh?
Live, yeah, 2013.
The first time I ever saw them live, they won a handicap. No, they lost. They lost a handicap match to CM Punk at TLC 2013. That was the first time I ever saw all three members of the Shield. Jordan, when was the first time you ever saw the Shield?
Oh boy, I don't remember. I don't think.
While you think about that, I'll also say Roman's first taste of gold. He won the tag team titles with Seth Rollins against Team Hell No at Extreme Rules 2013 in St. Louis. And that was the same night all three members became champions. But they weren't the first faction to all win gold the same night. I think they were the second faction behind Evolution.
Yeah, I got that here. 2013, May 19th.
They held them all the way to like October. Yeah. They lost them to Cody and Goldust at a Battleground in a tag team match. They held them about a good 4 to 5 months. It seemed like they held them forever.
Yeah.
But they were a dominant tag team together. And I was at WrestleMania 30 when they teamed up, when they came out dressed like the Purge, and they beat...
was that Road Dogg?
Road Dogg, the New Age Outlaws, and Corporate Kane in a 6-man tag. That was a squash match. But it was cool to see the Shield as a babyface for once. But it was hard to see them break up because when you've been so into them that long, it was after Payback. The Seth Rollins turned heel and joined the Authority. He whacked Roman with the chair, and then Ambrose or Mox, whatever you want to call him, was like, "Holy crap!" That was a sad day for me because They finally main evented a pay-per-view the night before that awesome 6-man no-holds-barred tag match against Evolution at Payback. That was a fucking banger match. And that was the first time we ever saw like Roman's chest piece tattoo. Like they ripped the damn bulletproof vest off of him. We saw him wrestle the way he would be wrestling present day. Just guns out, muscles out, chest piece, Samoan tat showing. He didn't have the back piece yet until about 2020, but he had the big full sleeve too.
Yeah.
I will say about Roman, what maneuver gets you going the most? Do you like the Superman punch the most or his dynamic spear?
What gets me going?
Yeah, like, ooh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, baby. I would have to say the setup to the punch. To the Superman punch. Just everything about it. He's locked and loaded. And it just, he goes in and it's just like, it's phenomenal. It's kind of like the Phenomenal Forearm, but better.
Yeah. Jordan, what you like the most? Superman punch or the spear?
I'll go with the spear.
Nice.
I like the Superman punch. It's the way he forms his body. It's like only he can do it that way. And I've tried to do it that way in slow motion. I just can't measure my body the way he does.
Hey, look who showed up.
And he brought some friends.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah. I thought the confetti just flew you away.
Yeah.
Okay, we were worried about you, man. What the fuck?
That's fine. I'm right here.
Anyhow, what was the first time you ever saw the Shield live?
For who, me?
Yeah. You missed it. That was a question.
First?
No, what the We're trying to acknowledge the tribal chief. Dylan's gone. Marcus, there's a phone ringing.
Well, it's a spam call, so I muted it and automatically hit the red button.
No, the first time I seen them live, I believe, was WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. That's the first time I seen them.
Against Corporate Kane and the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
In that squash match. Now, I said, which maneuver gets you hyped the most? The Superman punch or the spear? It's the only two questions I ever asked.
And probably the spear. The Superman punch is whack.
I don't get the whole charging the fist like he's masturbating or damn shake weight, but it's awesome the way he just formed.
To acknowledge the.
I'm acknowledging his Superman punch, but I get why people don't like the whole charging thing or the the Shield is the greatest 3-man faction of all time. Yo, Tim in the house, TK.
Banger.
Check out the Wrestling Index because it's fucking bangers, dude. Oh, I'm hyped for this. I'm turning into Tim right now. Yeah, but even though the people were getting fed up with them over pushing Roman, I still was a Roman fan. While they were booing him, I was still cheering for him. I never ever hated Roman Reigns at all. Seth Rollins probably was the only one out of the three I hated at times. Roman was always like just something about him. It had to have been that long, greasy, wet black hair. He has pretty shiny black hair.
Yeah. Well, they
looking
weren't
like
forcing
Aquaman.
They weren't forcing him down our throats at that point.
Right.
We knew that he was part of the Shield. It was cool. When they broke up, it was like, okay, what's going to happen? And,
everything exactly happened with Roman. They ended up putting him already in the title picture after they broke the Shield up. He was in Money in the Bank. Well, it actually wasn't a Money in the Bank ladder match. It was a ladder match for the championship, and they put him in it with 7 other guys. And then the following pay-per-view, he was in the main event again with 3 other men in a fatal 4-way, which I knew he wasn't going to win. I just wanted him to have a good match, and he did. And then he became a big mid-card guy. I mean, he had a hellacious match with Randy Orton at SummerSlam after that. And then going into feuds with guys like Seth Rollins at the time, which he was also feuding with Dean Ambrose. He got his first taste of – not first taste yet. Let's rewind a bit. When he won the Royal Rumble in 2015, people were not happy about it, but it was very predictable, and I even predicted him to win, especially when he was the runner-up the year before, and we were shocked like, oh my God. They wanted him to win in 2014 instead of Batista, but the following year, they didn't want him winning at all. I don't even know who they wanted to win in 2015 because there was no one else capable of winning than him.
Yeah, that's who won. That's
Mhm.
that's who needed to win. I was there. The crowd did not like it. It was bad shit crazy, but
It was just I didn't
I
like the way
acknowledged
he
him.
won.
You know, I was there. I put up the ones before we even knew what the ones were. I was,
I was
the one at the Rumble in 2015.
I mean, I was happy that he won. I didn't like how he won. He had to get help from The Rock to take out Big Show and Kane, and then Rusev tried to sneak behind and get a victory. Then he threw him out. That was kind of a pissy way to win it. Which I'm
Yeah.
hoping he'll win a second one down the road on his own. Which some people think, oh, if he ever wins the Rumble in the future, he's going to get help from the Usos and the Bloodline. But Dylan, I'm pretty sure you were not happy with him winning the Rumble in 2015, or you were all aboard.
No, I was all aboard the year before, just when everybody else was. But no, not in 2015.
Yeah,
Jordan?
me too. Yeah, I was aboard too.
Hell, he even got booed in the main event of WrestleMania when it was him and Brock. I was excited to see this, and then Brock is just turning it in. That's when we get this whole Suplex City quote. And then everyone thought the main event got better when Rollins pulled the heist of the century, cashing in, which at first I was pissed about it. I wanted Roman to win that title, but then looking back now, it's like, that was a fucking awesome moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment.
But I didn't like how they treated him with his first reign. Yeah, they let him win his first WWE title in his backyard, Atlanta, Georgia, in a tournament, defeating Dean Ambrose in the finals, and then 5 minutes later losing it to Sheamus. So you remember that tournament they did where the title was vacated because Seth Rollins fucked his knee up, and Roman won. People were still not happy, but then Sheamus cashed in his Money in the Bank. That's when he still had the freaking Bebop look from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, and lost it in 5 minutes in Atlanta, a city he lived in for a few years because he played for Georgia Tech. I was happy he won, but I was pissed. What did you remember from that Survivor Series? Go ahead with Dylan first, then Jordan, then Nick.
I think this was the only time that everyone was behind Roman. And this was a time where Roman was not the guy that people really respected. Like, he was the one getting booed all the time. And then he wins and then loses in 5 minutes. And I think that people were legit pissed that Sheamus won. So that's really all I remember from it. I remember him laying in the big pool of confetti with his hands over his face like he just got cashed in on. And yeah.
Yeah, I was happy when he won, but when he lost, I was pissed.
I don't remember this at all. This wasn't in my rundown,
Really?
so I don't know. I just acknowledged the tribal chief.
That was his first title win. Lasted
Yeah.
5 minutes. And by the way, who is George? I'm reading your boy Keith's comments. Hello, George.
It's a running thing with his dad. He called Jordan George one time and it kind of stuck. I don't know.
I don't know. George Wilson. He's the only. Well, Nick's drinking his wine. George's drinking his Bud Light. I'm drinking a freaking vanilla Dr. Pepper here because I went happy hour earlier.
I thought you were at work.
I got it on my way home from work. Happy hour is from 3 to 6.
Jesus Christ.
That's why we were late.
That's why we were late, because Marcus needed a drink. Jesus Christ.
Well, about a month later, he gets his title back on Monday Night Raw against Sheamus. What we found out, that was also his daughter's birthday. He won the title back from Sheamus, and that was in Philadelphia. So were you at that Monday Night Raw when he won the title from Sheamus, where he says, if you don't win the title, you're fired?
Nah, I wasn't there.
Damn, the bad luck, huh? And then losing it in the Royal Rumble, which that was fucked up because I had him winning that Rumble too, and he was the second runner-up of the night to lose it, but he wins it back at WrestleMania against Triple H in front of 101,000 people, which Dylan was at that WrestleMania. The whole crowd was just not into it. I don't think it was as worse as when he main evented with Brock in New Orleans, where it got so bad everybody was tossing beach balls and booing the whole time.
Yeah.
Dylan has mentioned it countless times, but for new listeners and newers tuning in, describe that I don't know. I took
Fucking
that
making
from,
up words.
I
New
took that from the,
tuners tuning in.
yeah, I took that from the UW pod.
No,
But-
we don't fuck up like that.
Okay, what I'm saying is for our new subscribers and listeners, if you haven't heard our episodes in the past, let Dylan
Viewers.
explain
Not
how
listeners.
horrible that main event was in Dallas at WrestleMania 32 against Triple H.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. The crowd was silent. I don't think they wanted anybody to win whatsoever. It's like almost like that type of scenario where they wanted both people to lose. It was just so bad. And then it's kind of predictable that Roman was gonna win. And then the moment he won, it's like nobody cares and everyone's leaving. The moment the 3 count happened, I left. It was just so bad.
So you didn't stay for the celebration. You sounded. See, I
Hell
kind of
no.
did the same. I
Yeah.
kind
Are
of did
we
the same.
acknowledge him or are we pissing?
Oh, we
on him?
acknowledged him. We're talking about when he won, but he had places to go. He didn't want to get stuck in that Dallas traffic. I don't blame him.
Oh, it was bad.
What's crazy too was I think after he lost that title to Seth Rollins, he doesn't win championship gold for damn near 2.5 years until 2016 he wins the United States Championship for the first time. He beat Rusev at Clash of Champions. He held that title. I think it was 140 days. He held it till right at the beginning of 2017. He's only one of 2 people to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania in the main event, and I know the crowd was not happy about that, but who gives a shit? That's when he told him, "This is my yard." He was the big dog, and I was picking Roman, and Roman beat. And I can believe
he
him.
should have been the guy, if anyone. You know, I mean, I was on this podcast and I talked about the Brock and Taker match, and I'm okay with it, but. You know, hindsight's 50-50, 20/20. My co-host used to say that, 50-50. I was like, dude, come on. Hindsight's 20/20. Maybe Roman should have won.
Now you go into 2018. He also was back in the title picture again. That's when we started getting countless matches with Brock Lesnar. A horrible WrestleMania main event match we were a part of. A steel cage match in Saudi Arabia that ended in controversial fashion where he speared him through the cage wall, but Brock touched the floor before Roman did. And finally getting the title off of Brock at SummerSlam, that was a 1.5 reign, to sadly have to vacate it like a few weeks later because he was diagnosed with leukemia, which that was heartbreaking to me. But if people don't understand, just because you take time away because of a sickness, people were visioning him like in a hospital bed dying. No, he was still functioning, and that's one reason to keep that away from you is you got to stay active and exercise and live a healthy life. He was filming Hobbs and Shaw while he was fighting leukemia, but people thought it was a work just so he could go work on that movie. So fuck those guys who thought that whole thing was a work. And when he came back in early 2019 and he was in remission, which he's been healthy ever since. Now, during the pandemic, he did take a while off because we didn't know what COVID was going to do at the time, and he thought mixing COVID with someone who had leukemia could be deadly. So I do respect him taking time off for that. I kind of wanted him and Goldberg in that WrestleMania match, but the fact that it was no fans, I was like, dude, do what you got to do to get healthy. That WrestleMania fucking sucked anyway, and they replaced him with Braun Strowman. But also in 2018, he won the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz. I think it was before all this. I don't remember around what time he won that title, but it was like early 2018 or something like that. Maybe the beginning of 2017. He beat The Miz for it. He went in a feud with The Miz and he won the Intercontinental title. I think I take that back. It was in 2017. It was after Survivor Series. He won the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, Thunderdome era and shit. He comes back at SummerSlam. I was fucking happy to see him back. People were happy for him until he aligned with Paul Heyman, which was fucking genius. Started this finally changed that character. He was no longer coming, he was still doing the Shield theme until about a year ago, but he was no longer the big dog. He was no longer that type of guy. He was calling himself the head of the table and then became known as the Tribal Chief. And for the last 2 years, Universal Champion, he was slowly changing his attitude, getting new slogans like acknowledge me, I'm the head of the table, the needle mover, main main eventing back-to-back WrestleManias as Universal Champion, beating everyone that you can beat that's big. So he won the title from The Fiend. He was the champion, and he beat Braun Strowman together. He beat Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Edge, I did say Edge, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. The list goes on. He's beaten. I know there's more I'm trying to think of, but that's about Cesaro. He beat Cesaro.
Jey Uso.
Yeah, I did say Jey Uso.
AJ.
AJ Styles. I can't believe I left him out.
John
Drew
Cena.
McIntyre.
He beat Drew McIntyre.
Jesus.
He beat Seth Rollins.
Are you the host?
I'm 1/3 of the host, but yeah.
Yeah, you've been talking 2/3 of the time.
But yeah, the list goes on. That's everyone he's beaten, and there's still more on this list left to beat. Now, while he's still champion, I mean, there is a question I put that who could dethrone him, but that's not the question right now. If there's anybody else he hasn't faced yet, you would love to see him go against. At least it could be one. You can name 2, 3. It don't matter. Yeah, if there's somebody I didn't name he never faced yet as champion, who would you like to see him face down the road? And this ain't talking about him getting dethroned. This is just saying, oh, it's a quick title retain. Oh, and he also beat Matt Riddle as well.
Was this on the rundown?
It wasn't. For a quick retain, you said? Man, that's tough.
Yeah, it could be a quick retain. I mean, if you want to throw in a name that could dethrone him, just don't say I have him dethrone him. You can just throw it in there if you want, if it makes it easier for you. If you want to take somebody off your dethrone list.
Well, I put 3 people on my dethrone list, and 2 of them he's faced already, and the other one I don't see it as a quick retain. So that's why my mind's kind of thinking right now.
Well, I'll help you out. One I'd like to see him defend against down the road is Bobby Lashley.
Had quick retain though.
When I meant quick retain, not like a 1-minute match where he retains. I'm just like a one and done. Like just have one meeting and then go feud with somebody else down the road. That's what I meant by a quick retain. They can have like a 40-minute match if all I care, but I'd like to see him go in a feud with Bobby Lashley. That never happened yet. I don't even think they've ever faced each other that I can remember. They go down the road and have a match. I'll throw in Karrion Kross for a bit too, and I'll even. He also beat. No, it wasn't even a title match. He beat Big E, but it wasn't a title match. That was the whole champion versus champion at Survivor Series. But hell, I'll even throw Big E for a title match if he ever comes back.
Yeah.
So if you guys have nothing else to say, I'll go ahead and bring the questions down.
No. I thought Dylan and then Jordan was gonna go. I got.
Oh
Edge.
no, I got nothing. Oh,
I got Edge. I mean, I know he stacked them up, him and DB, but I want to see the new Edge. I want to see him go 1-on-1 again. I know we've seen it before, but I need it again. I want to see it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Go.
First question, and this is going to be a tough one for maybe a few people.
What's that?
Would you rather the Bloodline or the Shield as the favorite faction for Roman?
I guess I'll start things off. I'm gonna go with the Bloodline, simply because the history they're making right now. You know, with Roman, with X amount of days right now as Universal Champion, has never been pinned in over 1,000 days, I would assume. And then the Usos, undisputed tag champs, Roman, the undisputed champion, and now you're adding in Solo Sikoa, who I mean, Lord knows what this guy can do. I'm not saying he's going to take the title off of Gunther or Bobby Lashley, but I think the guy can make some noise. And then you have Paul Heyman on your side as well. No, man, the Bloodline's too good. I mean, and this is no disrespect to the Shield. You know, I got to agree with TK in the comments. The Shield is one of the greatest 3-man factions of all time. But the Bloodline is just simply making history, and they're adding on and adding on and adding on. They're just too good, too unstoppable right now. So that's why I had to pick them.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Bloodline too.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I think the Bloodline is the most dominant faction we've seen in decades. I think they're that damn good. Shield was great, but it was short. Let's be honest. It was short. It was really fun to watch. It was really fun to be a part of the Shield, watching them live, like I said, in WrestleMania 29. Dylan, you weren't here, but WrestleMania 29, I seen them live. But talking about current, you gotta respect Roman Reigns. You gotta see that. Yeah, well, you're wrong, Tim, but it is what it is. It's fun to watch Roman be so dominant and to be so perfect in his role right now. He's just something I don't think we'll ever see again, and that's why I gotta go with the Bloodline.
I'm gonna go with the Shield
Of course.
because I mean, I still love all three to this day. I mean, name another faction where they split all the members and they all go to succeed like they did. All three members
Evolution.
have all
Most
three
definitely.
but all three members have held the WWE title, have all held the Intercontinental title, the US title, the tag titles. 2 out of 3
Evolution.
held Money in the Bank. 2 out of 3 won the Royal Rumble.
Evolution.
And 3 are current faces of organization. Mox the face of AEW, Seth the face of Raw, Roman the face of SmackDown and WWE. Seth is also
you're stretching
a
bud.
face,
I get it.
and they're all Triple Crown and Grand Slam champions as well.
Yeah. Are they Hall of Famers? Right
Future
now.
future first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yep.
Well, now if you Evolution, everyone's a Hall of Famer except Randy Orton, but he's a future first ballot, hands on. No doubt. They'll all 3 be 2-time Hall of Famers because they're all going to go in single and they're all going to go in together as the Shield. Roman will probably be a 3-time Hall of Famer if you count the Bloodline as a Hall of Fame inductee too. So
Yeah.
I can acknowledge that. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Now that we got 4 members of the Bloodline that can wrestle, can we get War Games at Survivor Series and have them as a team?
What about Sammy?
No, I'm talking about actual family. They're actual cousins.
Dude, come on.
Sammy could be the mascot. He could be the flag bearer. He can interfere if all I care. Just
Sammy took a chair shot last week for the.
Well, he
Bloodline.
can take a fall off the cage for the Bloodline.
Yeah, that's what you do.
It's who could, if they want to make this a SmackDown versus Raw thing, what 4 guys can they face from Raw? It's like everyone's kind of hopping on both brands because I don't know if they're ending the brand extension or are they getting ready for a superstar shakeup down the road. I have no idea what Triple H and Stephanie are going to do with this roster. I wish they'd split the titles. That way both shows can have a world champion. Because Roman doesn't come on Raw unless it's something major. He stays on SmackDown, doing what he does best, getting the crowd pissed off, and I love every second of it. This one was kind of a tricky one, but it wasn't that really hard for me. 3 favorite T-shirt designs of Roman Reigns.
So, Marcus, I think you're wearing one of them right now, the one I chose. The God Mode shirt. Yeah. That's the one I put for number 1. Number 2, the Simple Acknowledge Me shirt. And then I believe this is whenever he first was establishing his heel character, joining Paul Heyman. This was before Bloodline was even a thing. But it was the Wreck Everyone and Leave t-shirt. Yeah.
Wise choice.
Yeah.
Jordan?
All right. My number 1, I put It's My Yard shirt.
Okay.
My number 2, Head of the Table. And
Nice.
3, the Needle Mover.
Nice.
Cool.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you guys. Wreck everyone and leave. Did we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Jordan had.
Yeah, God Mode, of course, and then it was like a blue shield, like the stroke was blue, and then they had all 3 arms in the middle, and it said
that was
shield.
a cool one. That
Yeah,
one
that
came
was-
out that was 2014, I think. That sure came out.
That was my fave.
So Dylan has two of my three. My number one, hands down, is the God Mode shirt that I'm wearing right now. Number two, I'll say the Acknowledge Me shirt. And then number three, I'm going to say his Leukemia shirt,
Nice.
where it had his logo and then it turned into the orange ribbon. I've wanted that shirt so bad, but it's sold out for months. And I'm pretty sure I could find it on Amazon right now. Where if I had to pick a favorite Seth Rollins shirt, I would have the old school Monday Night Raw logo where it said Monday Night Rollins.
What?
I'm getting that shirt right now. I'm trying to find it on Amazon. And I'm going to find it with the Roman Leukemia shirt. Because I want that one. Okay, WrestleMania matches. He's been in a few, of course. I'll give you a recap of his WrestleMania resume. Made his WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 29 with the Shield against Big Show, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. 30, he wrestled with the Shield against Corporate Kane and the New Age Outlaws. 31, he was in the main event with Brock, then turned into a triple threat with Rollins. 32, main evented with Triple H. 33, main evented with The Undertaker. 34, main evented with Brock. 35, he wrestled Drew McIntyre. 37, he main evented with Edge and Daniel Bryan, and then recently he main evented again with Brock for the unification match that they called the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. So that's what, 6, 7 WrestleMania matches, and he main evented every single one except 3. So give me your top 3 WrestleMania matches of the Tribal Chief and head of the table, Roman Reigns.
All right, from 3 on down to 1, the first 2 are simply because of the story behind it, not even because it was a good match. But number 3 was this past WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, is because he just became the Undisputed Champion. I mean, we haven't seen an Undisputed Champion in so long in the WWE, so the story behind him winning it, I guess that had to be it. Number 2, WrestleMania 33 against The Undertaker. It was
What the fuck is that?
That noise. It's a lot of noise. It sounds like something's rubbing up against your microphone. It's like every time you move, it sounds like something's rubbing up against your microphone.
He's standing still. He's standing still.
Oh, it's like every time you move, it sounds like something just constantly hit it because like your microphone. Yeah, like that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, he was the second person to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I don't think he should have been the first. I don't even think that Taker should have lost at all. I've said time and time again, if someone was to defeat Taker at Mania, should have been someone like Bray Wyatt. I think someone should have who have been built as a star, but then they gave it to Brock and they gave it to Roman. So if I had to decide out of both of them to defeat Taker, I think it should have stayed undefeated and let Taker retire undefeated. And the number 1 was last year's WrestleMania, that triple threat versus Daniel Bryan and Edge, where he stacked them up and defeated both of them at the same time. It was just a really good match. It was one of my favorite Roman matches. I don't have a lot of favorite matches from Roman, but that one right there is at the top of my list.
Jordan?
All right, 3 to 1. I have the Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. Number 2, Daniel Bryan Edge at WrestleMania 37, and then I put Triple H at WrestleMania 32.
Oh my God, that was your number 1.
Oh wow. Okay, Nick.
Yeah, I gotta go number 3. I wasn't a big fan of this question, but I took it on the chin here. Number 3 versus The Undertaker at 33. I thought that was a big step for Roman Reigns. I feel like anytime you get to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, it's something else. And yeah, it was after Brock Lesnar, but still, it was his yard. That was when the peak started to happen. He was going up the incline. Everybody knew that he was going to be the one, and we didn't like it. I'm not going to say we, you guys, everybody else, but the people in this podcast, this video, this whatever, we respected it, but we saw that he was up and up. So that's my number 3. Number 2, again, I wasn't a big fan of this question, but I got to go with Edge, DB, at WrestleMania 37. I thought it was a phenomenal match. I mean, the way that they made him look dominant, a Hall of Famer Edge and Daniel Bryan in the same match with Roman Reigns, and he stacked them. Come on. I mean, that's something I don't think we'll ever see. You know, stacking your competitors and then pinning them easily. Phenomenal. And then number one, it's got to be WrestleMania 38 for the unification. I mean, everybody was talking shit. I don't want to see Roman do this, but I don't want to see Brock do it. Guys, he's our tribal chief. He's our number one. Roman Reigns destroyed. Yes, there we go. WrestleMania 38. Love it. So that's what I got.
So, my number 3, I put his triple threat with Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania 37. Number 2, I'm gonna go out of left field on this one. I put his WrestleMania
Wouldn't
debut.
be your first time.
Yeah. Number 2, I put his WrestleMania debut because I couldn't leave a Shield match behind. And out of those two, I thought that was their better match as the Shield. Was the 6-man tag beating 3 former world champions in Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Big Show. And it kicked off WrestleMania. Number 1, I was at a crossover with this past WrestleMania and the Undertaker match. So I'm probably going to put the Undertaker at number 1 because there's nothing bigger than beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania, even though someone else did it. Roman kind of just started putting the nails in the coffin of him going into retirement, where he became a part-timer permanently. We'd see him once a year or once every other year. And Brock's was just kind of a holy fuck it shock. Roman's was just like, okay, it's sealed and done. Undertaker has to go. That was kind of a strike 2, even though it felt like strike 3. It was strikes 2 and 3. So
Yep, they cheated like the Astros.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have our trophy, so acknowledge that.
Nope.
All right. Favorite championship wins. Again, 2-time Universal Champion and current, 4-time WWE Champion current, former U.S. Champion, former Intercontinental Champ, former Tag Champ. So, got a short list right here, but it shouldn't be too bad. Give me your 3 favorite title wins of Roman Reigns, starting with you, Dylan.
All right, so my number 3 is one of my favorite mid-card wins, and that was against Rusev for the United States Championship at 2016 Clash of Champions. My number 2 is when he won the Universal Champion that he currently still holds today at Payback 2020 against The Fiend and Braun Strowman. And then number 1 is obviously when he became the Undisputed Champion this year at WrestleMania versus Brock Lesnar for retaining the Universal Champion and then winning the WWE Champion. And Jordan, you're on mute.
My bad. My number 3 is Brock Lesnar for this past WrestleMania, winning both belts. My number 2 is Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2018. And then my number 1 is Sheamus Raw 2015.
On his daughter's birthday. Nice. Okay. I will acknowledge that. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do retains because he's had these titles forever, so I'm going to go.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to change. I'm here to shake things up.
Right.
3-1. There we go.
The confetti
There we go. I kind of feel like JBL back in the day.
Oh, at the Great American Bash
Wrestling.
or raining money at WrestleMania?
God. All right, let's do it. Number 3-1. Number 3, Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. It was a Universal Champion versus the career of Daniel Bryan, and it was just phenomenal. Was it his career or was it Roman's? No, I guess it was
His career. Title
yeah.
versus career.
And what happened? How did DB lose and not where'd he go? I forget.
He went to AEW.
No, that wasn't that quick, was it?
No. It was
No.
like a few months before. I think like 2 to 3 months before he
Oh,
went.
maybe he was becoming the manager or the GM. But no, that was my number 3 match. Just a phenomenal match. I mean, you don't get to see 27 minutes of wrestling on SmackDown, and that's what we got with that match. It was as Booker T would say, pretty good.
Good.
Number 2,
Okay.
it's pretty recent. Versus John Cena, 2021 SummerSlam. It's just something I don't think we ever would have, I didn't think I was going to see, the face versus, the future. And it was just a great match. I mean, yeah, you know, we knew Roman was going to win, but to see him, it's just like, it was just something cool to see because John Cena was our guy back in the day, and then he's just bending the knee. Here you go, sir. I acknowledge you, and that's what he did. He acknowledged Roman Reigns, and my number 1, Clash of the Castle, man, phenomenal. I mean, you got Tyson, you got Solo, you got Austin Theory. It's just so much going on that it's just I don't know. It makes the main event exciting. I know a lot of people just want to see wrestling, all the way down to the last minute. But for me, I want a little entertainment. I want a little storyline, and that's what we got with that. It was great. So that's my 3 matches. My 3 retains.
All right, so number 3, I'm gonna put when he beat Brock Lesnar and ended his 15, 16-month reign as Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2018. When this was like their 4th match in the same year, but he finally took down the Beast. That was my number
Mm-hmm.
3. My number 2, I'm being biased on it for 2 reasons. When he won the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz, I put the number 2 because of my love for the Intercontinental Championship and because he won it in my city, Houston, Texas. And number 1 was the only time I ever seen him win a championship a few months ago at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar in the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. I seen him retain one and win the other and unify them as one. I still love the whole gif of him holding the belts together like that. Got to see the fireworks celebration, and I was waiting to hear the Rock's music, but nope. As soon as the fireworks pop, I said it's time to go. But yeah, and that's the night I bought this shirt. I bought it at the Superstore, and I wore it for night 2 because I was picking Roman to become the Undisputed Champion at WrestleMania.
Nice.
And one last question before we close out. This one will be challenging, but name 3 superstars that could dethrone Roman Reigns as the reigning defending undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
So 2 out of the 3 that I wrote down, he's already win against, but I feel like with the current roster, I think they have the best chance at doing it. So number 3, I put Seth Rollins. I think Rollins is on a roll right now, even with not winning as much this year. Because I feel like Rollins is at the point of his career where he can put guys like a Matt Riddle over, which I feel like that'll happen at some point. But I mean, I would love to see Rollins get another championship reign. Number 2 is the person he just went against, and that's Drew McIntyre. I think that they can go at it again. And this is with Solo Sikoa interfering. I think that sets up another matchup somewhere down the line with Roman and Drew. And then number 1, I think, is the obvious one. He is out injured right now, but I think he'll win the Rumble and will challenge Roman for a championship or both at WrestleMania. I know we're talking Rock Roman right now, but I think if we're talking current roster, then you got to look at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, I think, was the guy to dethrone him, but with the injury to torn pectoral muscle, that's been put off to the side. Maybe that's why they're having Roman win all these matches this year, because they're still setting up Cody and Roman for later on next year after the Rumble. That's my only guess. I feel like Cody was going to dethrone him at some point, but with the injury, like I mentioned, I mean, it has to be the only thing right now. So Cody, I think, is the best case scenario to dethrone him. But I mean, to each its own. I think Cody is the best one, but there's so many more others that could dethrone him. But it's just anybody's guess at this point.
All right. My number 3, I got Bobby Lashley. My number 2, I got Cody Rhodes, and number 1, I got Seth Rollins.
Yeah, this is a celebration, an acknowledgement of Roman Reigns. Ain't nobody gonna beat him. Come on, next question. I'm here so I don't get fined.
So that's it. That's your answer. No one.
No, this is a celebration. Let's hear that. Let's hear the sound again. Come on,
All right.
and the confetti.
Let me put the
Little bit of
confetti
both.
first. The sound was too fucking far down. Let me put the confetti first.
There we go. We're getting our shit together.
The reigning,
Hey,
defending, undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns.
ain't nobody gonna beat our tribal chief. This is a celebration, Marcus. We're not here to say, hey, he's gonna beat him. He's gonna beat him. He's never gonna be beaten. It's as easy as that.
Well,
Acknowledge him.
before I give my three answers, he was interviewed on. Okay. I'm reading this part in small
Logan
letters. No, he was interviewed on Impulsive. Yeah, Impulsive.
Yeah,
and his
it's Logan
question
Paul.
was, why Samoans dominate wrestling? And his answer was, because we're just really good at this shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Why they
what we're
dominate.
here for.
So I retweeted that. Okay, so I get a lot of beef on my number 3, but
Yeah. Should get a lot of beef
It
with
ha-
3,
it
2,
has-
and
but
1. What kind of question
only-
is this? We're celebrating.
we are celebrating, but all good things do come to an end some of the way down the road.
No. This is not that's another episode.
That
You know?
I'll be in the nursing home.
I won't be here because I won't. Yeah.
That's I'm gonna
I
sound
won't
like
be
an
here.
elderly man.
No, it sounds like John Laurinaitis who got fired.
Yeah.
You should too.
Still waiting for MJF to feud with Bryan Danielson so he can talk about his crazy father.
Off topic. Here we go, guys.
Well, number 3, the only way this guy can beat him.
We
Roman
got a
probably
booty
has
sound
to be,
effect.
Yeah. Roman has
Don't.
to be damn near dead for a guy to have this chance, but I just can't hold him back. At number 3, I got Austin Theory. Like I said, Roman has to be damn near dead for him to take the title off of him. He's got that money in the bank. Somehow there could be a way he could do it. It would take a lot. Like a damn near car have to be on top of him as a prime dumb example. Number 2, I have Seth Rollins. What the fuck is that? And number 1, I have Cody Rhodes. Because I do believe that's going to be your WrestleMania main event. I don't like Cody either, but it's reality.
This is a celebration, and we're going to say, you know what? I would like to see Cody beat our tribal chief. I would like to see Austin Theory beat.
him. I'll tell you who won't beat him because
No
it
one
ain't gonna happen.
cares. This
The
is a
Rock?
celebration.
It won't be The Rock. We're never going to get the Rock Roman match. Rock don't want to work WrestleMania, so now they want to do Cody and Roman.
No.
at WrestleMania.
It's not that he doesn't want to work. He just knows that Roman Reigns is the one.
I still want to get a Rock Roman match down the line, but it don't have to be a championship match.
It does. It does. No, I hate when people say that. It does. It needs to be for the title. Why would you
Because-
have a Roman versus Rock? Because they're cousins? No. Think about the storyline. It needs
Exactly.
to happen. There needs to be a
happen.
title in the picture.
I don't know about the title in the picture, but I'd rather them feud about their family and their Samoan life than have the title get involved. Let it be about if Roman is the tribal chief, he needs to take down the tribal chief previous
With
to him,
the
and that's
titles.
Rock.
That's more impressive. What is he going to do? One-on-one because of my family? Get the
What
fuck
if?
out of here.
Yeah, but what if the Rock beat Roman and won those titles? Then
he
what you
won't
gonna do?
beat Roman. He's not. Come on. Again, we're trying to acknowledge him. This is a celebration.
Yeah. Then
What
again,
if?
we could get the match because The Rock never fucking leaves SoFi Stadium now. He kicked off the Super Bowl and then he kicked off NFL kickoff.
Yeah, that
I was
was
like,
cool.
He won't leave SoFi, so we could get that match down the line. Or hell, Roman can do what no one's ever done. He can wrestle both night 1 and night 2 at WrestleMania. Fight Rock night
There we
1 and
go.
fight Cody
There we
night
go.
2.
Hey, you're picking up what we're putting down here. It's a celebration.
No triple
He's gonna-
threat, though, please.
He's going to wrestle 1, 2, and I heard there's going to be WrestleMania 3 days of WrestleMania. He's going to wrestle 1, 2,
WrestleMania
and 3.
SmackDown. That's your other fucking WrestleMania night.
He'll be there.
WrestleMania SmackDown.
Yep.
Come
he'll be
on
there,
now.
and he'll be your champion.
You want to watch the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Go to WrestleMania SmackDown.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
In order for Roman to win a Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, all he has to do is go out to the ring and extend his hand out like, give me that trophy. You won the
Yeah.
Battle Royal, but that's my trophy.
but that's beneath him. He doesn't need that. Remember when he took the crown from Woods? Come on.
Yeah, but that looks so good on him. He
It
should
did.
come out.
There
as
we
king.
go. There we go. I like it.
Fuck it.
It
Let him
looked
win.
great.
Let him win King of the Ring down the line. Even though it don't really mean nothing anymore. I'd like to see Roman with a crown now on his head.
I would like to
still.
see him go to AEW and take the TNT, the TBS, the interim 1, interim 2, interim 3. How many interim titles do we have? I mean,
Too fucking many.
many. He's just, I mean, he's our tribal chief. It's really cool to see something like this, you know? I mean, Marcus, when will you ever see something like this again, right?
Probably in 20 years with God knows whoever.
And you want him to lose against The Rock. No,
I
we
didn't
got to
say I
cherish
wanted him
this.
to lose against The Rock. I want him to beat The Rock, but it would be better to beat him without the championship. Because
But you
people
got to
are
tell
never
me
happy
why.
with shit.
Let me hear that. Why?
Because
It
of
doesn't make sense.
because the people are not happy with anything, and they think, oh, someone's gonna dethrone him down the line, and people already are fed up with him being champion and whatnot. Which, go kill yourself. But yeah,
Don't say
I mean,
that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm talking about the
You're
ones that
canceled.
complain about everything. No, CM Punk is the cancer.
No, canceled.
Oh. Well, do you guys have any last words before we close out? Do you want to acknowledge Roman one more time before we close out?
I think we should. Confetti and
Confetti? He said confetti.
no, the confetti and the Roman.
reigning,
There we go.
defending, undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion,
Let's hear it, Paul.
Roman
I love it.
Whoa,
I
Nick,
did my part. You guys didn't, but thanks for having me on.
I did the one.
See ya.
Well, where can we? Well,
JK.
where can we
Wait.
find you before you leave like that again? Where can they find you?
Yeah. Universal Wrestling Podcast website UW Pod. You can find us on Twitter at the UW Podcast and Instagram at UW Podcast. Big announcement. Next episode, interview with Davey Richards, and that's all I'll say. I mean, big announcement, baby. It's coming. But one more thing. Let's get the confetti. Can we get that one more time?
Yeah.
Let's celebrate Roman Reigns for the last time. He's your reigning, defending champion. He will defend it every pay-per-view. He will go one-on-one with The Rock for the titles, Marcus, and he will beat him. It's going to be the reign of Roman Reigns, and it's going to be the decade of Roman Reigns. We got 8 more years of this, guys. I love it. I know I mess around a lot. I know I fuck with you a lot, Marcus, but thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's
Houston
always
sucks.
a pleasure having you. Eagles suck. Even basically go enjoy yourselves at an Eagles game together.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 40. I take it you're going
40.
to be there.
Yeah, hopefully you won't be there, but
No, I won't. It's across the country. I won't go to any big wrestling show past Texas.
yeah, well, Rowan will still be the champion.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. All right. Again, you could find me at Marcus Elite 337. Dylan is at Dylan A Bear _, and Jordan is at Jordan J20 _. Podcast is also on Facebook and Instagram. Our live streams powered by StreamYard you can watch anytime on demand on our Facebook page and on YouTube as well, plus our ATB Saints video as well. Again, proud sponsors 80s Tees. Go to 80stees.com. Use promo code World Elite to get 30% off of your order. And last but not least, our second proud sponsor, Wrestle Champs. Download on any iOS or Android device the wrestling mobile card game. Redeem 5 free move cards if you type in World Elite Pod 1. And again, this is the World Elite Podcast presented by the ATB Network. Myself, Dylan, Jordan, and Nick want to thank you all for tuning in. Dylan, Jordan, do you guys have any last words?
I got nothing. Thanks for joining, Nick.
Me either.
Acknowledge me.
We will. This is the World Elite Podcast. Thank you. And thank you. And good night.
Jesus Christ.